me has been my long-held dream. I've been really since I was about 16 years old to do an entire film on IMAX. And IMAX for me is a portal into a level of immersion that you can't get from other formats. 15% IMAX 70mm is the highest quality imaging format that's ever been devised. It allows you to fully immerse yourself in the story where the audience is able to see this on IMAX on the big screen. They'll be able to experience an extraordinary moment in human history for years now, and it has this extraordinary strength and power in terms of how deeply it can take the audience into the story. The immersive quality of the image is second to none. We really try and create the sensation that I would describe as virtual reality without the goggle.
IMAX stands for Image Maximum, introduced in 1967 and opened their first IMAX theater in 1971 in Toronto. IMAX format started presenting mostly on special documentaries feature at museums and science centers. Back then, Hollywood theatrical features were deemed impossible to run in IMAX due to lack of accessibility, and the technology were very advanced. As we approach the 21st century, IMAX has evolved and expanded their brand with developing more IMAX cameras and transitions from film to digital projection. Christopher Nolan pioneered the use of IMAX film in modern blockbuster filmmaking, starting with The Dark Knight, where he uses IMAX 70mm cameras for Joker's truck chase sequences. The main reasons he likes using IMAX format in his films because of the image is physically more huge and the quality of it is mind-blowing, makes his films more immersive and has amazing spectacle comes to life. After Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan has long dreamed of shooting an entire film on IMAX cameras for years, but it's impossible to manage due to its IMAX camera's main flaws.
The thing that was stopping us was always the sound.
IMAX cameras was built for capturing high images format using massive amount of heavy film stock through the camera gears at incredible speeds. As a result, it generates a loud and industrial roar while shooting. Besides that, IMAX using physical film stocks to shoot, and it requires a 1,000-foot roll of IMAX film for only 3 minutes of footage. Imagine shooting a 2 hours and 53 minutes shot entirely on IMAX. You need to constantly reload the new stocks for at least 50 times. That's not including multiple takes and cuts during production. Makes the cost more and more expensive for the IMAX film stocks. Add to that, IMAX cameras is very heavy and bulk to carry with massive film magazines and heavy-duty motors inside of the cameras. Makes it physically difficult to move and shoot around with it. But then, everything changes on just one phone call. After Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan called the CEO of IMAX, Richard Gelfond, and said, "If you can figure out how to solve the problems, I will make quote-unquote the Odyssey 100% in IMAX." In 2022, IMAX announced a program to build a new 65mm film cameras in collaboration with Kodak, Panavision, and Photocam. As a result, they created an all-new IMAX Keeley camera, named after IMAX longtime Chief Quality Officer David Keeley, who supervised post-production on some 500 IMAX films over a 53-year career, but unfortunately passing away in August 2025 at age 77 during production due to a terminal cancer diagnosis. Nolan acknowledged to honor and dedicate his legacy with this camera. The Keeley camera redesigned the camera body using carbon fiber and metal frame for weight reduction. incorporates a new, brighter viewfinder with enhanced optics for composing and framing with greater precision, and the most important feature of all is the IMAX Blip, a massive, custom-built soundproof housing that encases large format IMAX film cameras to suppress the loud mechanical noise.
Giant thing, just like the size of like a coffin, basically. This thing weighed, I think, over 300 pounds when it was all put together. They had to build special steel plating on the dollies to hold it. It was a lot. And we kind of kept shooting with it, and it kept working. It kind of dawned on us that we were going to make it through the production, and we were actually going to be able to shoot entirely on IMAX.
Allows Nolan to capture intimate dialogues with actors and finally making his long-time impossible dream to be possible. Even though they have fixed the IMAX camera issue, they still have obstacles and challenges while shooting on real location during productions. The main one is the actors could not physically see each other because of the sheer bulk of IMAX cameras until they find a solution, which is a double mirror periscope system mounted to the blimp that helps actors to maintain eye contact and emotional timing. Aside from that, constantly changing the film magazine every 3 minutes while shooting really gives pressure to actors and the crew to stay focused and keep the momentum going as consistently as possible. Lastly, shooting IMAX during intense sequences are not ideal. Due to how big and bulky Keeley cameras are, Nolan decides to rent 7 IMAX film cameras in total, 2 from Keeley and 5 from normal 70mm IMAX cameras. Especially during the Odysseus ships at sea, Cyclops chasing, and Troy's war sequences, and carrying the cameras requires the manpower, at the very least 6 crew to live and moving the cameras alone. After not finishing shooting the film in 91 days, they managed to capture a total of 2 million feet of IMAX film footage, equivalent to 100 hours of raw footage that is enough physical distance from New York City to Washington DC. That's how long the film was. All the footages will be transferred to digital intermediate, which is essentially a scan of the IMAX film so that they can edit it on their computer, but then they don't export it on digital video file, just like any other films. They export it on data list of edge code numbers of the physical celluloid negative film. They send all the printed film to Photocam in Burbank, California, being the only major motion picture lab in the world still producing 70mm film prints. The film was splicing and cutting 100% by hand using a vintage 1940s style splicer.
Skill. It's a really marvelous thing to see. Yeah, in this age of digitization, AI, all the rest, this is a human process, an analog process. This strip of film, that's the highest quality imaging format that's ever been devised. There's nothing that competes with it. It's a massive negative, which, when correctly exposed, correctly printed, and projected onto a huge screen, there's an image quality there that you can't get anywhere else. Incredible sharpness, very little visible grain.
The look of the film was also performed manually by colorists, holding physical color correction filters over the film strips on light tables. Then, valves open and close during the printing process to paint the light and exposure values onto the final prints, run by chemical bath and dried in glass enclosure. As a result, the final prints weighed up to 600 pounds and stretched 11 miles long per copy, requiring a specialized IMAX projection setup. From a team of IMAX projectionist experts ensure that the film that is projected on screen running smoothly, no any other dust or speckles visible, and shipped to only 41 exclusive IMAX 70mm film theaters around the world, as Nolan intended everyone to see on the biggest screen possible. We are currently witnessing history. in the modern era of cinema.
Me has been my long-held dream. I mean, since I was about 16 years old.
A dream that has been building for decades has finally becoming a reality.
To do an entire film on IMAX.
He doesn't just make films, he creates cinema.
I am a big believer in being sincere about your passion for something, and I do love all types of cinema.